talk about the latest topics in entertainment. I'm Brittany Jones-Cooper.
I'm Shannon Coffey.
I'm Allie Colbert.
And I'm Lucas Tim. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Before we begin, I just want to serve you guys first course here.
Oh, yeah, I'm hungry.
So, are you hungry for it? Because it's a good one. Denise Richards is officially joining the cast of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Season 9.
Did not know she was that poor.
I know, right? Like, what does she need? Well, it's more fame hungry.
It's like, wow, you're really not doing well.
Yeah, she's like, and also, like, yeah, exactly. You're gonna let Lisa Vanderpump be superior to you when you join that show.
Oh my God.
It's the whole cast from last season. So you got your Dorit, you got Teddy back, Lisa Erica, Lisa Rinna, and Kyle. And now Denise Richards, who apparently has been wanting to join for a while.
Wow. So has she been watching?
Yeah, I think she has. I remember a couple weeks ago, Jerry O'Connell, who's going to be working on a new Real Housewives like reality show sort of thing, kind of leaked this in an interview and then had to like double back.
Right.
So I'm like, we sort of knew this was coming.
No, not during your build.
No, it was like before.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Brittany recently interviewed Jerry O'Connell and it was amazing. If you want to check it out on buildseries.com.
The series needed a
He's the
shake-up.
nicest man on the planet.
He's so nice.
He's
He's
so
also
friendly.
obsessed with Bravo, and he says Bravo saved his marriage.
Yes.
I was like,
Right.
whoa, man,
So
that's
Rebecca,
props to Bravo, yeah.
But Denise Richards, I'm just curious, like, if she is friendly with those women or if she is.
I think that's the thing with why Lisa Rinna worked out so well. And it's so interesting when you bring these actresses on, because like these actresses like clearly know how to perform. So it'll be interesting to see, because she knows Lisa Rinna, she knows Kyle Richards, and I'm assuming she probably knows Vanderpump through the scene or whatever. But it'll be interesting to see if she shakes it up, because last season got a little bit boring. So it needs a fresh face.
Fresh blood.
I don't know if Denise Richards is a fresh face, but like, you know what I mean? Like, she's
had a lot of like ups and downs in her career. She used to be married to Charlie Sheen, so something tells me she has a few skeletons in her closet that will come out on the next season, and it's going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah, they co-parent, right? So do you think there's a chance he's gonna show up on the show and be like, I'm winning? And like, oh no.
Tiger blood!
Oh my God. I mean, that's all I think about when I think about her is Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, and how she could be married to somebody.
I mean, that was insane. That was really insane. I'm excited.
We'll be watching.
I'm super excited.
In other news, the Academy has added a popular category to the Oscars, giving viewers something different to spice up the awards from years past. The awards show will feature a category for outstanding achievement in popular film. That way, stars of the fan favorite films will be present at the ceremony, and audience engagement will hopefully increase.
He's about to have like a panic attack.
I mean, I have so much to say about this too, but you want to start us off?
Okay, last year was the lowest rated Oscar ceremony forever, like 26 million.
And who won last year? For Best Picture?
Who was?
Was that the Moonlight? Was that last year?
No, Moonlight was 2 years ago. Last year was
Shape of Water?
Shape of Water.
Shape
Yes.
of Water. Holy shit,
We honored Sex with Fishes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a big
That was a weird ass
show.
movie, guys.
That was their response to Oscars so white. They were like, we gave you a fish!
Here you go, fish can win.
We want diversity.
That is the definition of inclusion.
I'm just never gonna be okay with saying Academy Award winning Mamma Mia, here we go again.
Oh.
So I can't deal with that.
I agree with you. I think here's the thing with this category. Okay, if you're wanting to measure a film's popularity, it's not subjective. It's objective information,
Box
which
office.
film is making the most money. So I don't know why, they're already winning. We're winning the money. I don't know why we have to give them an award. Every other category we can like look at and evaluate on a like subjective, artistic level, evaluating craft and skill. But when it comes to saying this movie made the most money, I don't understand, you can just look it up.
But we are a country that loves and consumes reality TV. Like, we don't have very high standards. So I think when you're looking at the Oscars, you're right, they are giving awards to these creative sort of, but like, I think the normal person wants to see movies that they've seen and that they've enjoyed. And so like, The Rock is probably going to win so many Oscars.
It's just
Oh my God, oh, I'm sorry.
The thing is, we let the American people choose the president. They can't choose this.
Yeah.
You fucked it
You
up.
can't have everything.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
You got him. Now let us decide what movies are good.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, nothing is holy. Like, everything is gonna go to shit. Like, we're all gonna be just like balls of fire, being like, this is great, it feels awesome. And things are gonna get really bad before they even ever start to get a little bit better.
Yeah, it's just like exactly that. It's like, okay, I get it. You didn't see Shape of Water or La La Land or whatever. What the fuck, great movie you didn't see or whatever. But it's just like, like there are other ways to honor these, to get famous actors to come to the award show. Like have The Rock do a song and dance number and advertise it. I don't care. You don't need a popular movie award to like the People's Choice Awards. And also another thing too is like, I think though a film could be eligible for both, I think it's like, so, you know, like The Lord of the Rings won Best Picture, and that was $1 billion film, right? That may never have won Best Picture if this award existed, you know what I mean? And that was a great popular film that won Best Picture, and it deserved it. But if some great $1 billion film is like, oh no, we'll give him the Daniel Day-Lewis is gonna give him the popular category because we're gonna give the small indie film Best Picture. I think it further separates, like, I don't know, I just don't like this.
And let's think about why okay, so they want more viewers. Clearly people aren't watching the award shows. I mean, I think people are not watching the award shows for reasons beyond them not liking the films.
Agreed.
People are tired of seeing rich white people congratulate each
100%.
other.
Also, the show is 18 hours long, which is something they're changing. This year's show
It is
only
exactly
18 hours long.
Yeah.
You can take a nap. It's great. But they're gonna chop off an hour. Now it's only going to be 3 hours long. So I think that's a lot of reason a lot of people don't watch it because it goes until like 11 o'clock at night, and you're like, I can't do this.
And I wonder how they're gonna like cut that time. Like, are they gonna make people's speeches even shorter? Because I feel like they have so many boring shit that they put on and they keep. But then when people are speaking from the heart, they're like, play the music, get them off. And I'm like, this is why we watch.
Yeah. So I think that a lot of the categories that, you know, people aren't interested in, like best, you know,
lighting
toenail, is gonna be, that's gonna be happening during our live commercial breaks. So it's gonna be like a live to tape format, I think. But then during the commercial breaks, they'll fill it in with categories we don't care about.
And then they'll show him later, like, what you missed during commercial break? Makeup, light, toenail, like, and that will be, that'll be like, so great. That was summed up. If anything good has happened, they're gonna show us later. Yeah, I don't hate that. Like that. Is fine.
I don't hate that. I don't hate the popular movie category because there are some popular movies, like let's say Black Panther, that had a good story. It had great casting.
But what constitutes popularity? Define it. Is it money plus social media
I think it's critical reception.
Plus?
I think it's how it galvanizes the public, how people are writing think pieces about it.
I know, but you have to be careful because this year it will be that.
I said galvanizing.
Next year it'll be like a different Marvel film.
True.
And people want like. You know, it's like...
No, but like a Black Panther, like, yeah, that should win. I would not be upset with Black Panther winning Best Popular Film,
But that also had cultural significance.
So does like Love, Simon. That had a cultural impact as well. I don't think it's just going to be the Rock movies. I think they're going to look for movies that moved the conversation forward and had some sort of impact on a generation.
Okay, well that is more interesting.
That I get. I like that more.
I mean, I'm making that up.
Maybe you
like,
did the press release.
I like the idea.
I think you should prepare for the reality that it's just gonna be rebranded as the Rockskers. And it's just gonna be all awards go to the Rock 24/7, and Nick Jonas performs, and then we call it a night.
Yeah.
And Judi Dench is just
like
like,
a good
oh,
show.
this is fun.
I think so. Yeah, that's what it is.
All the British people are gonna be like, oh, I'm so uncomfortable. Who's this Rock? Like Judi Dench and Helen Mirren be like, oh.
It's just so hard to watch actresses and actors congratulate themselves and talk about like, it was so hard getting into the role of Sarah, you know, it was exhausting my mind. Like, just stop. People are working, you know what I mean?
Or people hated that, what's his name, the Winston Churchill movie or whatever. They're like Gary Oldman. Yeah, he put on a fat suit. Yeah, like that. Like,
and he won though, right?
He won.
He was really good in that movie.
He was
good.
good.
No, he wasn't. He just wore a fat suit, which is like
It's Gary Oldman though. He's an amazing actor.
Now Insatiable is gonna win an Oscar because the girl wore a pillow under her shirt. Oh, thanks a lot.
Yeah, I think Shannon's kind of right. This could devolve into just any category.
Oh, it will. It will.
Well,
I mean, if
see.
we've learned anything, it's that everything that can go wrong will go wrong in 2018.
Yeah.
Just remember, life is empty and meaningless, and if you take it that way, you'll have a better time.
Yeah.
In other meaningless news, your new favorite song could be turned into a feature film or a TV series. The Plain White T's 2006 hit song, Hey There Delilah, about long-distance love, is now being adapted into a romantic TV dramedy. The band has partnered with production companies Lively McCabe Entertainment and Primary Wave. Meanwhile, the group's 8th album is Parallel Universe, and it's gonna be released later this month.
I literally just said everything that can go wrong will go wrong. And Shannon just proved it. They're turning Hey There Delilah into a show. Please, dear God, put me out of my misery.
Plain White Tees. Ooh, really wanted more from them. Wow.
I thought they were gone. I thought that their tour bus evaporated somewhere, and I was like, cool, something's happened the right way.
Like the leftovers happened, but just the Plain White Tees disappeared.
They
It's just like they're the ones that like,
Yes.
Also, I never knew what any of them looked like, and It's
Yeah, I
disappointing.
know.
And you're like, we didn't need that pick.
But what is kind of funny, there was this Entertainment Weekly article that did like what other songs could be turned into TV shows. Like, I love they did "Lucky" by Britney Spears, but like a Hollywood socialite who like cries all the
Falling
time.
from grace.
Piano Man by Billy Joel.
like we
that
were-
could be good.
I'm into that.
Oh, then there's one called the Call Me Maybe song, but it's a girl who like gets in a car accident and they can't remember anything, and it's a really weird log line. But I respect.
It's like, call me.
Maybe. Anyway, it's a really interesting
Just move
article.
the comma every time.
Yeah. But it's cool. It got me thinking of like what other things could be turned into TV
Can we talk
shows.
about Lucky for a second? Because I feel like we
Lucky.
all had a reaction to
Let's
that.
pitch it.
I love like following the lives of like, I just bitched about award shows.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, show me rich people.
But also that video is so good because like she's on the star, she's narrating,
Yeah.
and, like,
Looking
and
down.
her and like and she's crying with her her makeup stripping down. That video really affected
It was
me as
really
a
moving.
7-year-old when that came out. Or
Oh my
whatever.
God, 7-year-old boys. That really hits
Like
them.
most American boys of 7, that video just really touched me. But yeah, I could see that on like CW or something.
Yeah,
or-
totally. I think
yeah.
that would be a good one. I was, we were talking about this earlier and listening to music in the makeup room, and I think Hey Ya by Outkast could be a really good movie. Because the whole thing's about like, why are we so in denial about love when we know we're not happy here?
Right.
But it's like, well, let's put on a good face and dance, you know? So I
Yeah.
feel like that's what love is for so many
Yeah.
people. And it's
What
weird.
about Rhythm Nation by Janet Jackson?
Ooh, you going political, weird.
Yeah, right? But like dystopian future kind of, but everyone's just dancing a lot and just like doing Janet moves. Yeah.
We'll keep faking it. My question is, why did they? So I actually liked Hey There Delilah when it came out, and I remember listening to this song over and over on the school bus.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious why they have to like attribute the song isn't that specific. Why is it not just the idea they had for a show? Like, why are they saying it's from the song?
Maybe because the character's name is going to be Delilah.
Like,
Yeah.
but it's clearly just to like stir up buzz.
Yeah.
that they're,
Totally,
like,
and,
attributing it to
because
the song.
the plain white tees want to be producers because I don't know if they're selling any more songs or whatever. But I mean, the song did spend like 35 weeks in the Billboard Hot 100. Like the song was a huge hit. I remember hearing it nonstop.
You couldn't
but
not
yeah,
hear it.
actually,
I was playing it.
Yeah,
You heard
Ali was
mine.
playing it. This idea is not a terribly original idea of like a long distance relationship dramedy type of thing. But I think it's purely like they're going to go to networks. Like, remember this song?
Yeah.
You can market the hell out of this, and we'll give you the rights to it. So it's a whole kind of package that I think
Totally.
they're trying to sell
I
too.
feel like people are always like grasping at straws and like we're trying to remake everything and like take stories and like put them in your face again. Like, why can't we just come up with new stuff?
Because that's hard.
No, it's not. That's the thing. There's so many
Like,
great
we
people
got all
out
this
there
old
with like
shit,
really
let's
great
get music.
ideas, and people are just like, no, let's do the plain white tees. But there's so many good show
course.
ideas out there. There's
Absolutely.
like, we all know these people. They're our
Yes.
fucking peers, and they're like, I have this great pilot, but nobody wants to see it. They're just gonna give like Nickelback the next show.
Oh
You're
my
like,
God.
Great.
The photograph is going to be turned into a TV show.
This is how you remind
Fuck, Nickelback's gonna make a fucking TV show.
Yeah, they
You know,
are.
100%. I've written a pilot. We've written stuff like it's the work that goes into creating original idea. And these assholes come around. Remember that hit song I had? Let's make it into a TV
Yeah.
show. Haven't written a script or anything, but we can figure it out.
Guys, you gotta follow the money.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
that's right.
duh,
It's
yeah.
bullshit though.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, obviously we're all really excited to see this show.
It's bullshit though.
My network hasn't bought it
No,
yet,
I'll
so we'll
watch.
see.
I'll watch.
Yeah.
Well, moving on. Actual 8th graders finally got the chance to see 8th Grade, the new coming-of-age movie. Received an R rating, which essentially banned the audience that the film is intended to reach. But the movie's director, Bo Burnham, decided to take matters into his own hands, tweeting, "Since 8th grade is rated R, that's sort of stupid. We're doing free screenings in every state this Wednesday, so no ratings enforced. Come watch, kids."
Woo. I love that Bo Burnham is doing this.
I know.
He's so great. I mean, it's so frustrating when these movies are made just like speaking truth. Like, we all know in 8th grade you experience this, and then it can't even hit that audience.
I
It's
know.
so frustrating. Like, they're living it. Like, they know that you can look up a blowjob scene somewhere. Like, they're not like idiots.
Yeah.
Like, I hate when we treat children like they don't know life is happening.
Exactly. And in 8th grade, like, I think so first of all, it was in 50 theaters nationwide. And what we didn't know is that if you make a movie free, you don't have to enforce that rating, which I think is really cool. But yeah, to your point, it's like 8th graders are cussing. 8th graders are Googling sex. 8th graders are having sex.
They
so why
are.
we feel like we have to shield them from reality is weird.
Yeah, and also in the movie, there's not even that much overtly sexual behavior. There's language stuff. The movie's fantastic. I saw it with my younger brother, and it's so good. We were cringing nonstop through it because of situations the girl puts herself in, but also because we all relate to those situations of being the odd one out and trying to fit into the cool group. But just now imagining what it's like to have Snapchat and Instagram, all these things that I did not have in 8th grade. And my younger brother's 2 or 3 years behind me did not have Snapchat, did not have Instagram, maybe had Facebook, but it's just changed and it's amplified and yes, it's important for every person to see this movie, and I think it's a great story, but if 8th graders saw this movie and could have a little bit of like, yes, I identify with this, and maybe we should do better at this or whatever. So this is fantastic because they should be the ones watching this film.
Absolutely. And I think we've seen in the past, there was that documentary Bully, which also had some like harsh language in it. And a 17-year-old actually started a petition because it had an R rating. And she was like, no, I think my peers need to see this. And they were able to change the rating on it. So maybe stuff like this will get them to change the rating on 8th grade. I don't know how that process works though. So, I mean, I feel like when the director's like, no, that's probably the best person to do it.
Stupid. It just doesn't make sense why, she says...
It obviously makes no sense.
Yeah.
It makes no sense that 8th graders can't see the movie called 8th fucking grade. But, you know, I do recall, though, growing up, and my parents did not care what I watched. Obviously, look at me now. I mean, I remember when I was, like, in 3rd grade, my favorite movie was Night Shift. But, thank you, Lucas. But I do actually recall some moments when I would watch something that was like okay for me to watch or borderline and actually like really had an effect on me that like I probably shouldn't have watched it.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I remember watching some episodes of Oprah in middle school that really messed me up.
Let's talk more about this.
Like, I remember these episodes of Oprah when I was younger where people would call in to Oprah and like leave messages on like this like Oprah hotline when they were trying to like escape like a marital situation at home. And I remember just tuning in. It was on at 3 o'clock when I came home from school. My mom was watching and I would just watch while she was in the kitchen. And like, it really scared me. Like I think, I haven't seen 8th grade yet and I'm so excited to see it. But it's funny like certain things that you don't always register as like, okay, this will have like a weird influence on my child.
It sticks with you.
Yeah.
But that's why Oprah was so good because like now you know to avoid domestic situations.
Yeah. Oh, I love Oprah.
Me too.
In 8th grade, it's a great movie. But it's not like that. Like it's like any 8th grader can see this and be totally fine.
It's not about spousal abuse.
It's not about spousal. There is one scene that's a very like
Graphic?
No, it's just a scene with an older high schooler kind of tries to
position
to take advantage of her, and I don't want to. You know, it's a very intense scene. You're like. Literally, I was like screaming at them, like, no, please. And luckily, nothing bad.
No, it sounds totally great.
But they have to, I think it's important for them to like see those scenes because they are living that.
Yes.
Like sometimes when you've been sheltered so much, when you get into those moments, it's terrifying and you do freeze. And I feel like the more we can prep them to be like, hey, bad things happen.
Yeah, just desensitize them to everything.
Yeah.
No, it's not being desensitized. It's being like, you know, prepared.
And I think it's actually a great example of how to avoid a situation
Well,
like
it's
that.
really easy to say yes when you've never been told that you can say no, right?
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Whoa.
I don't know.
It's a good movie, guys. You should all go see it.
Oprah.
Our Oprah over here.
She taught me that.
Well, Jane the Virgin actress Gina Rodriguez has partnered with Feeding America and feminine products company Always to make sure every girl has access to menstrual products. On Instagram, Gina posted a fun throwback pic along with a caption about how no girl should have to skip school because she doesn't have access to period products. This is true. Super cool.
Yeah, I don't understand how this isn't a thing already. Like, we don't choose to have periods. Believe me, if we could, we wouldn't. So it's like, I'm surprised that schools still charge students for all of this.
If
it should be free.
Even have it at the schools.
Yeah,
like in my high school, the nurse didn't have like any products at all. Like if you had anything happen, she'd just put Vicks on you, like on your forehead. She was like, yeah, that's all my school nurse. And my school nurse wasn't a nurse. She was actually the owner of the school's grandma. So like we called her Abuelita, and Abuelita would be like, ay, you have a fever, te vamos a ponerte el Vicks. And that's all she did all day. Like if you scraped your knee, ay, te ponte el Vicks. And then she would always put it on your forehead, and you'd be like, no, I'm bleeding through my uniform. I need help. And it was really frustrating. And my dad, like, is the type of person, like, he needed perfect attendance, and my school didn't have, like, a locker room. We only had regular bathrooms. So more than once, I would bleed through my uniform and have to stay in school like a bloody mess with no help. I would just use, like, toilet paper wads. So I really, like, connect with this story. I think it's so good that, like, someone is trying to help the youth.
We've all been there with the toilet paper wads. It's
Meanwhile,
hard.
if you want to buy Vicks, it's available at your local drugstore. Vicks cures everything.
I don't know what it is about Vicks that school's like, ponte al Vicks.
I love it.
That is so funny. My school nurse always just gave us ice, no matter what was wrong.
Ice, yeah.
I would go and I'd be like, my stomach's killing me. She's like, ice packs are back there. I was like, I don't need an ice pack. I need a GI. But
See, and ours would just tell us to lay down. Just go lay down. It's like, I need a Band-Aid.
we're all dying.
So the moral of the story is school nurses need to be actual nurses.
School
That would be
nurses.
helpful.
Oh my God.
But
Some of
also
them are
tampons and pads should be readily available and free. I think everywhere. In restaurants,
Obviously.
at work, in schools. Like, they should just be there.
We've said it before. If men had their periods, there would be a, maxi
Yeah.
pad dispenser on every block.
Yeah.
ATMs would give out pads.
People will stop working. Like, it would be like, no work today, I
Yeah.
can't. No, it's, when I was reading this story,
And Trump would always be on his period.
Trump would always be on his period.
Actually, I'm on my period again. It's really long right now.
It's the worst period ever. It's the worst
My
one.
pants are huge, okay? They're so big and bad. You have no idea.
Yeah. But you imagine if Hillary complained, they'd like burn her at the stake. Anyway, yeah. What I was basically reading the story is that Gina Rodriguez is such a good person.
Yeah.
She is just like, we've talked about her before on the show. She puts her money where her mouth is and just gives so much back to her community, to now young women. It's just, and it's so, because like millions of girls missing class, it does put them at a disadvantage. It is a reason why there's a recent story, the CEO of Pepsi stepping down. She's only one of like 11 women.
In junior year, yeah.
In the top 500, Fortune 500 companies. Like, that's why we don't have enough women CEOs, because these girls are put at a disadvantage because they're just not given the same opportunity, help to succeed. So I'm all about this.
Yeah, and like when you get up to that later level, it's like maternity leave and all of those things that it's like it starts with tampons and it moves. It's like we don't have a choice about this
Being
stuff.
a woman was a pre-existing condition before the Affordable Care Act.
That's crazy.
Vote in November. That's my message.
We're talking
That's
for
my
voting.
message. Yes.
Vote.
Anyway,
We love Gina.
I want him to run for office.
Oh, he will, I think. He will.
maybe.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, okay. God, it'll be bad. It'll be bad. Kids won't go to sleep? Well, Disney's here to help. The company recently launched a toll-free hotline that offers bedtime messages for your kids from Mickey and Friends. Parents of kids who call the number will be greeted by a pre-recorded message from one of 5 Disney characters to add a little magic to their bedtime routine. Okay, this is good intentions, but let me just picture how this will go.
creepy.
Okay, ready? Dot, dot, dot.
Hello, it's Mickey Mouse.
Hi, it's Lucas. Hi, Mickey.
Are you sleepy, Lucas?
Well, yeah, a little bit.
Are you in your pajamas or naked?
Mickey, I'm
Are
putting
you
them.
a naked little boy?
Mickey, you're making me uncomfortable.
Are you a sleepy naked boy?
Bye, Mickey.
Bye, Lucas. I love you.
And see.
Yeah, like who do you think is gonna apply for this job to speak to children late at night?
Yeah.
Who do you think is gonna do that?
Or the worst is going to be creepy men or people
That's
calling
where I
in
was
and being
going.
like, yeah, Minnie. Yeah, like, tell me to go to bed, Minnie.
have-
Sorry, I'm bringing it there. I'm
I
sorry.
have been to Disney World and I have seen a lot of single men just walking around. So you know they're gonna call for Minnie.
Oh, I do not like that.
No, I think that everything, like you say, everything is the worst.
Yeah.
Everything is the worst.
It really is. I mean, I feel like I'm a positive person, but like life is fucked up right now.
Yeah.
Things are like, we need more Vicks.
Yeah.
We need just cover ourselves with Vicks. Like,
If I do run for office, first platform right there is we need more
we need
Vicks.
More
to.
Vicks.
Yeah.
I feel like the American people are just like, it's just like give a mouse a cookie, and instead of asking for milk, we're like, we'll take the whole farm, the dairy farm! We'll have all the cows. It's like, can you guys just stop? Like, we're just giving you a little bit. You don't need to take. Like, everyone is such a problem.
Also, does Disney have to infiltrate every single part of our lives? I
Yeah.
mean, they're everywhere. They own everything. They're like, do you
But
every
also,
night?
like, imagine the parent, like, oh God, the kid won't go to sleep. Call Minnie. Call her. Like, and like, is that really gonna help it? Like, call Minnie, and the kid's like, hello. And Minnie's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's free. Like, what? I'm not tired.
Yeah. No, Minnie. They're gonna get angry.
Yeah.
Did you guys have like any weird bedtime rituals when you were kids?
Oh, when
Like calling Minnie Mouse?
You know what? I was so high.
Yeah.
I don't even.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
I could have guessed that.
I don't know. I mean, the one thing that this didn't make me think of is like I always wanted to hear stories before I went to sleep.
Yeah.
And like I guess if they're telling you stories, but like just your parents can be present hopefully and do that.
Right, this is so parents don't have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Totally.
just like
Yeah.
phone in.
Literally.
I did like stories.
Literally.
Now it's turned into like, I need like an episode of a TV show.
Now it's turned into Housewives.
Now it's turned out, no, Housewives keeps me up. That gets me wired. Kind of like, oh, Bethany shouldn't have said that, then been Carol and Ramona. But no, actually now I'm watching The West Wing. And The West Wing's a perfect show. It's an amazing, amazing show. But it's heavy dialogue. So sometimes like, it's like, okay, like I can start, or they get me worked up too sometimes. But I kind of need a TV show to like get me in the right mindset.
Speaking of Vicks, do you know what mentholatum is? It's just like Vicks. So when I was a little kid, oh, this is weird. I would put mentholatum under my nose every night because I would have stuffy noses, and then I'd listen to jazz music.
Oh my God,
Again,
a young Britney.
This is very on brand for Britney.
That makes so much sense.
That is very on brand to who I am. I was listening to like Coltrane, and it had like mentholatum under my nose, and we're just like.
After you watched your Jeopardy, put a little Babs on,
Listen to some
and then you
Barbara.
fell asleep to
you fell asleep knitting.
I was born an octogenarian. I know.
Oh my God.
Okay.
So cute.
That's fun. Well, now is time for today's guest. Jonathan Murray is an executive producer and creator of some of our favorite shows like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Project Runway, The Real World, and The Challenge. His latest reality series, the Emmy-winning Born This Way, follows a group of 7 young adults born with Down syndrome as they pursue their passions and lifelong dreams, explore friendships, romantic relationships, and work, all while defying society's expectations. Let's take a look.
You're getting married? Come here.
Ow! Can I get a little stripper for your birthday party? No. No strippers. I'm almost married.
How many of the bridesmaids are gonna be there?
Rachel, you, and you, Anna.
Would you be my maid of honor?
I'll be honored to be a maid of honor.
Are you ready for the wedding?
I am a little bit nervous, but this is my dream come true to be married.
Marriage is a huge step. Don't take it too fast. Communicate to each other. Yes, one step at a time.
This is not the wedding for a young woman with Down syndrome. This is a wedding for a young woman.
What you want for your kid is to have a wonderful life. And here I am, looking at your daughter in a wedding dress.
Living with you, sweetheart, is gonna be one heck of a ride.
And please give a warm Bill Brunch welcome to Jonathan Murray. Thank you so much for being here. Born This Way is truly a groundbreaking show. It's an Emmy Award-winning show, been nominated for I think every season it's been on. Can you tell us more about it and how it came to be?
Sure. You know, I've always been interested in people who normally don't get featured on television. Going back to The Real World was about putting 7 diverse people together who you might normally not see on TV, like LGBTQ people back then, or someone with HIV/AIDS. And so it was like, what can we do? What community hasn't really been focused on? And really, if you look at primetime television, people who have disabilities are not featured. It's like they're invisible. We thought this particular group of people, sort of the first generation of people with Down syndrome who have been raised to be independent. They've gone to our mainstream schools, and we've set high expectations for them. And now that they're in their mid-20s, their parents are scared to death to let go. So you have this wonderful dramatic tension that is very relatable to anybody out there letting your child go and potentially make mistakes or stumble along the way.
Absolutely.
How did you go about finding these families to participate?
Most of the show is shot in the LA, Orange County area, and there are a lot of arts programs and other programs that our cast was naturally already involved in, so a lot of them already knew each other, which was great.
That's amazing.
It wasn't like those Housewives where we had to sort of introduce them to each other and sort of say, oh, remember, you've been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
But you don't want her to come to your dinner party.
Right, yeah.
In reality TV is like known for bringing out the worst in people, and this show is like the opposite. So like, what do you think about like the response to this and how people get to see a different side of reality TV?
It's great. I mean, I think because you know, a lot of what we deal with on this show is pretty like day to day. Like this season, 2 of the guys are out to try and get their driver's licenses, and we've all been through that. My son failed the written test 3 times, and you know, but for them to do this, it's fascinating. And watching that first time they get behind the wheel of a car, it's really interesting. So it doesn't have to be quite as big and crazy. No one has to throw a table, you know, to be entertaining.
We literally could reenact that scene.
Very often.
Very often.
What has been your process like working with the stars of Born This Way and just creating that sort of outlet for them and their families?
Sure. Well, it's one that we really sort of had to feel our way along, because even in that first cut of the show, we found that too often we would have the parents speak for these young people, and we said no. The parents should only speak when it's something they have to talk about, but these young people are capable of speaking for themselves. I think a lot of times when it comes to people who have disabilities, the typical person speaks for them. So we always wanted to make sure their voices were the voices that were heard.
Right. And have you faced different challenges on this particular show than you have on shows past?
Sure. I think when we looked at the first cut of the show, we were like, okay, we can't use all those usual reality tricks, like the big music comes up and someone gives someone a look.
Right.
It felt false. So I think we really simplified it and we went for a more documentary approach.
You mentioned giving a platform for the community with disabilities, and I first watched the Autism the Musical. That's how I first kind of and that was so impactful for me too as a viewer, just to see how these children are living with their lives and thriving. So I'm wondering what kind of follow-up is done with these characters, I guess? Do you stay in touch with them afterwards?
Oh yeah, with the with the group on Autism the Musical, which was 10 years ago. It was an HBO documentary we did, and we are very much in touch with them. And we've been thinking about maybe it's time to go back and revisit and see where they are today.
I need to see where Wyatt is.
Oh,
he stole my heart. Oh my
adorable.
God. Yeah, I would be your first viewer, for sure.
Thanks.
You've been involved in reality TV for a long time. I'm curious what some of your thoughts are on how the forum has evolved since you entered it and
Wow, it's just exploded. I mean, there's subgenres all over the place. And it's gone through different phases. There was the phase where people thought, oh, we can just put people together and we'll soft scripted it and it'll just be cheaper than a sitcom or something. But it was like a really bad sitcom. I always think the best reality TV is when you don't mess with it, when you don't try to manipulate it, when you have enough time to shoot it. With Born This Way, we shoot this show over 17 weeks, so we can just sort of be there as stuff happens.
So is that how you, because I agree with you, I have a hard time watching soft scripted reality. And I strive for the shows that are authentic. So how do you ensure authenticity within the show?
I think it's having that long production window. At the beginning of the season, we sort of see what's going to be happening. For instance, this season, we've been building to it for 3 seasons. Christina and Angel are going to be getting married. And so we know we have, over the 8 episodes, we'll be following as they move to the big moment when finally in episode 8 they get married. And so it's just being on a fly on the wall and sort of capturing all of that stuff when Christina goes to try on those wedding dresses and her mother's looking at she goes, that's a little too revealing. And, but she wants to let Christina make her own, mind up, but she's sending signals no.
Right.
So it's sort of fun. And we just sort of sit back and and film it.
And showing how relatable they are. What's so great about reality TV is, like you said, with The Real World why it's so groundbreaking is these LGBT people, person with AIDS, is a person, is so relatable.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, why it's so great about this show.
Yeah, I mean, that's the great thing about reality TV. It takes you into worlds you don't know, and it sort of breaks down those barriers. We hope with Born This Way that when someone meets someone with Down syndrome, they won't feel awkward. They'll just go up and say, hey, how are you? And when you see these 7 individuals, they're all so unique and different.
And portrayed in such a loving and beautiful way.
Yeah.
And I don't think people see that everywhere, so it's so important, really.
Yeah, we're very proud of the show, and I hope that sometime they'll be in New York and you can actually have them on your show to speak for yourself, because they are amazing. Yeah. Megan she's just got this new line of clothing that she's putting out with Hello Kitty.
Amazing.
It's she's got these phrases like "Don't limit me," "Don't forget your sparkle," "Think like a boss," and these are all things that she's always said. And now Hello Kitty is putting out a lot of clothing with her.
I love it.
So this is more than just work for you. This is
this is a mission. This is a mission to really make sure that everybody's voice is heard, that we don't leave anybody behind as we move forward as a country.
Definitely. And you've produced a lot of different projects, everything from Project Runway to the Kardashians to Born This Way. Is there one project that's just stuck out as just the hardest, or you had the most obstacles, or people didn't believe in it and you really had to fight for it?
I mean, those are a lot of questions. Paris and Nicole, The Simple Life.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I love that show.
They didn't exactly have a work ethic back then. And making a TV show does require a lot of work. So there were like a lot of negotiations to getting them to come out of their hotel rooms. But they were great. I mean, and it was a magic in front of the camera, the two of them. Yeah, there have been, you know, that's the crazy thing about reality TV is you don't sleep well because anything can happen. You get those calls at 4 a.m. and you're like, really? So yeah, it keeps you on your toes, but you don't get bored.
Yeah. As Brittany mentioned, you were an executive producer on The Kardashians, which is one of the longest-running reality TV shows.
Yeah, season 17, I think we're in now.
And I have seen every single season.
That's more than I've seen.
I'm curious what you attribute to, you know, such an impressive longevity, and well, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's in many ways they're a normal family. They fight with each other, but they are a family, so at the end of the day, they always have to come back together. And what has been so amazing about them is they are, you know, they just let us keep shooting. They trust us, and they're willing to sort of let it all out there. Right. They don't apologize for who they are, and in a way, that's sort of admirable.
Yeah.
And look at the success.
I know.
Look at that Kylie. That little Kylie who we first met when she was like 11, I think, and now she's like a billionaire.
Yes, actually a billionaire, which is insane.
Well, it's interesting, speaking of Kylie and then with Born This Way, the Hello Kitty, does reality TV allow its stars to create, like Bethany Frankel and Skinny Girl with the Housewives, to create these brands in a different way than an actress could on a scripted sitcom?
Yeah, at the very beginning of The Kardashians, I said to Kris Jenner, I said, you know, this is such an amazing opportunity for you. We will never pay you on this show what you think you're worth, but think about all the opportunities this gives you. And I really think that's true. Yeah. You know, the Kardashians have made way more money from all those other things than they make actually on the show.
So you're telling us you're responsible for Kris.
For Kris taking over the world? This is breaking news right now.
I like how we had the same question. We're like, oh my gosh.
I'm very happy for them.
Yeah, Kris literally has hands in everything.
She's amazing.
She's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
She's amazing. She came. We were having a retirement party for someone and she came to my house. She arrives in her, you know, big like tricked out SUV. She's got her, I think he's a bodyguard, I'm not sure, and her boyfriend. And like she gets to my house, she goes, I go, what can I get you, Kris? Vodka. And she goes, what do you have? And I go, do you need a specific vodka? She goes, just a minute. And like in comes the guy with the vodka.
No.
God bless her.
She travels with her own bar.
She's amazing. I really like her.
I interned at Bravo and I also interned at HBO and I wrote a little bit and I'm always fascinated like the similarities between scripted and unscripted. Like is making a pilot like a scripted pilot similar to like creating a reality show, or are they totally different?
They're different in that with a scripted show, it really has to be there on the script. Right. You really have to believe in the characters and the story and the humor. It all has to work on the script. With a reality show, I think it's about finding the right characters and then sort of putting them in a situation, whether it's a Project Runway competition show or whether it's just like Born This Way, they're figuring out sort of who they are and what they're going to do, and then just capturing it, and then in the edit room, that's where you sort of hone it and say, okay, we're going to tell this story and we're going to play it off against this story.
Absolutely.
Do you yourself ever watch reality TV, or you turn it on and you're like, this is fake?
You know, it's hard to because, you know, I want to give notes on it.
Yeah.
And it's already airing, so I can't really do that. But I did watch the other night, I watched Castaways, the new ABC show, where they stick a bunch of people. And I thought it was really good. And they did this nice technique where they had filmed in the people's homes. And so you got, oh, this is the guy who sneaks into his kitchen at night and eats. And that's why he's really heavy. And he felt abandonment because he was adopted. And, oh, how is this experience going to affect him? I thought it was really well done. So, yeah, I try to catch, like, the first episode of everything. But if I'm just wanting pure entertainment, then I watch, like, Downton Abbey or something. Something that is as far away from reality as you
so
get.
Scripted.
Yeah, script as a good get.
Yeah.
Well, Jonathan, thanks so much for joining us.
Sure.
This was an amazing treat.
Thank you.
We all learned so much. Born This Way premieres Wednesday, August 15th at 8, 7 Central as a 4-week event on A&E. That's all from us. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same table. Thanks, everyone.